Buses will resume on the first day of the school season, Friday, November 14th. The 4:15 activity buses will be taken.
We're going to talk about that now, actually.
It's turkey trot time, DMS. The
Sorry,
turkey
should
trot
have
will
first
be on October 24th. Donations are October 23rd, and there are 3 ways to give. Send to your base teacher, check payable to DMS PTO, turn it to your base teacher, or online. Use the link on the Schoology site. New this year at the turkey trot is the drumstick dash. This year's vlog has what it takes to fly. Grab 3 friends, team of 4 total, complete the Google form on Schoology, and submit $20 per team just to come up. Or Miss Lottie by October 17th. Each runner completes 1 lap around the track, and the fastest flock will be crowned as the Drumstick Dash 2025 to 2026 champion. Bonus, every Drumstick Dash runner has automatically entered the turkey trot. Remember, all money raised goes directly to DMS families in need. If you left a lunchbox on bus 30, it is in the office to be picked up.
The Sports Club will meet on Tuesday, October 21st and Wednesday, October 22nd. Additionally, the space will be available during the Dwindle Social on Friday, October 24th. For a list of the scheduled dates through December, access to Schoology page and/or information on signing up, please email Mr. Shaw or Paul.
Notice the shortest announcements of your test day, but we need to do
The
stuff.
boys soccer team lost 62 to Mark yesterday in their final game of the year. The highlights were goals scored by Ben Vaughn and Federico Smaglia. And the end of the season tomorrow will be Thursday after school. Please congratulate the DMS girls soccer team on the 2-1 win against Shaler. Ellie Bachman and Cam Moline scored a goal each and led the Lady Foxes to victory. Please dismiss the football team at 2:30 for the home game against Pine Richmond. Go Foxes!
Spirit Word News. Tomorrow is the Pittsburgh Steelers Day, and Friday is MC Brown Day. Will the following students please report to the office at the end of this period? Ava Gollum, Matilda Correll, Wesley Yates, Eloise Pines, Marina
You're already off and running back there.
Brennan Newell,
No, I'm decorating.
I know. I can just
Klein,
sit tight. I got something there for you. Don't
and
worry.
Lincoln Caroline. Have a great day, DMS.
Okay, fine. So, I'm going to talk to you about a variety of things. Okay, this is just one homework assignment. It's not 2, okay? But I combined 2 of the lessons in the book. So 1.1 and 1.2, you just follow it like a standard homework assignment. You should be fine, okay? Let's talk about a couple things. We are changing units. See, then she's not going to see it. Okay? There's a few things you need to know when we change units, okay? One, you are going to have to clean out your binder just a smidge, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, okay? You also need to be aware of things, talking's not going to help, as the year goes on. I need to remind you that when you take your final, I know that's far away, your final's 20% of the overall grade. It's not pre-algebra where it's like a little tiebreaker. It's like half of a 9. It's going to be a big deal. Now, I know it's a long ways away, but when we finish a unit, you can't just toss everything and expect to do great on the final. Okay, so we did finish it. I am going to recommend that you clean out your binder just a little bit. So the pattern test stuff, I'm going to be honest, I would ditch all the pattern tests. You're not going to see them again. You're done. Wouldn't worry about it. It's never going to happen. We did finish linear functions. Okay, so this guy right here, which again, beautifully decorated, she's already off and running back there. We are done with this. You should not be holding on to that stuff in your binder. Okay, but I don't think you should be holding on to everything. Okay, so here's what I fully recommend, and you should do this. As you're going through your binder later, I would ditch all the pattern test stuff. It's not going to come up again. I wouldn't worry about it. You've had enough of that stuff in your life. I would definitely keep this class packet right here that is so wonderfully decorated. I mean, this is everything we did for about 3 weeks. I don't know why you wouldn't hold on to that. That's what I think, at least. Most students have told me they usually toss the homework packet. That's actually fine because I would keep the reviews and the test because it turns out this covers pretty much everything you did on homework. So here's what you should do, and you need to do this later. You're not going to do it now, okay? Well, because we have things to do. Okay? Well, guess what? There's random home base time. I have a home base. I watch them waste more time than anything. There's time to do this stuff. You need to find a time to clean out your binder. You need to hold on to, I recommend the class packet, the reviews, and your exams. But I would put them in a safe place at home. I would not keep them in there all year. It's going to get congested so that you can prepare for that final, again, in May. It's a long ways away, but it's going to be hard to prepare for if you don't clear stuff out. Okay? So now that we're changing units, when you walk in tomorrow, you have new stuff. The old stuff should not be hanging out in there. And I got to tell you, there's something about the student that is colossally disorganized. They struggle as the year goes on, and it's silly. So I know this week you pretty much have some free time, unless you're doing your conference. You should also get yourself a little bit cleaned out, a little bit streamlined. Okay, don't do it during class. We have other things we need to do. Okay, other random things for me, homework submissions. Okay, the honeymoon phase is over. Meaning, if you are not handing things in on time, and I know you're here, I'm not taking them late. I told you we would go until like October. We are well into October. You need to remember to do it. There are plenty of times. Again, I go back to home base time. I watch my home base. They're here from like 8 to 8:15, playing games, clowning around. That's cool. They can do that, but your homework should be submitted. Okay, I had a student years ago. She could never remember to submit the homework. She was doing it. She couldn't remember. She set a reminder on her iPad every day for 8 o'clock, and it said, "Is your homework submitted?" And if the answer was no, she's like, "Oh crap, I better do that before I wander the halls or do whatever you're going to do." Okay, it needs to be in on time. Now, if you're absent, I let it sit for a day, let yourself get caught up, and then I look for it. But eventually it's got to come in. I'm not going to track you down. I'm not going to do the Miss James thing where she runs around and gives you pieces of paper. I know that that's a classic Miss James move. I don't do that. Okay, you're in 7th grade. You can handle it. If you get it done, get it in. Okay, finishing the homework and not handing it in, I know you're like, well, I did it. Well, how helpful is that? What if I had all this material for you and I'm like, oh, I did it, but it's at home? Doesn't help anybody. Okay, so it's got to get done on time. If you need to set yourself a reminder, do it. Okay? Homework check. A lot of you are doing a good job with that. Please keep that up. Your grades. Your grades are like fairly set. Okay? I mean, if you think about it, assessments are 90% of the overall grade. It's hard to move up or down based on homework points. In fact, most of you do your homework all the time. So the only way your grade will probably change is if you don't do it the next couple weeks. Okay, so I can't really get any panicked messages in the next week or so. How can I raise my grade? It's kind of like, why do we practice? Anything. Soccer, why do we practice? So we can play well in the games? Gotta play well in the games. There are no more games this 9 weeks. Next test isn't until the next one. Okay, so I would be aware of your grade. It might fluctuate a bit. It's not gonna be major, like you can't bump it up like 5%. That's not gonna happen. It's too late in the quarter. Okay, finally, Halloween. Please send me your decorations, your pets, whatever it might be. In the next week, I will tell you what the categories are for the prizes I will give out on Halloween. And for anybody that needed to hear this, because apparently you need to, guess when the Halloween extravaganza is?
Halloween.
I've been asked, so I figured we may as well put it out there. You will take it. I've not asked once, asked multiple times. So I figured we say it out loud. We'll do it on Halloween. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to the activities. So we're going to do a little bit together, a little bit on your own, kind of come back together. We're still going to do linear stuff, but we're going to do different things with it. I know you might be like, whatever, I get it. The things we're going to do this unit, you've probably never done. Okay? How about a reader? I've been talking the whole time. Anybody, please. One. Yes, August, thank you.
The 8th graders are selling t-shirts and caps to raise money for their mid-year party. Profit from the fundraiser depends on the number of caps and the number of t-shirts sold.
Cool. Okay, so the 8th graders, you have that little chart there. They're going to sell t-shirts and caps. Their goal is to raise $600. They make $5 profit per t-shirt. That's not a $5 t-shirt. That's the profit. $10 profit per cap. And their goal is to raise $600. Okay? We're going to look at a variety of things right here. Okay? Hey back. That's a good one. Look at that shirt. Look at that hat. That's pretty good. Okay? So remember, $5 per t-shirt, $10 per cap. I like to do a little bit of this mental math occasionally. You're good at this as well. I want to find the profit if they sell the following amounts. Okay, so can anybody raise their hand and tell us if they sell 15 shirts and 10 caps? Usually people are able to look at the prices and kind of give them to me. Okay, Eliza, So 15 shirts at $5 a pop plus 10 caps at $10 a pop should come out to $175. Okay, pretty good. How about 12 shirts, 20 caps? Thank you for raising your hand. As they raise their hand, 260. So 12 shirts at $5 a pop plus 20 caps at $10 a pop. There's your 200. Okay, there's your 60. 260. How about 30 shirts, 50 caps? Theo. Oops, 50. 30 at 5 is 150. 10 at 50 is 500. That's a grand total of $650. And then in general, and I hate when they do this, they use S for shirts. Everybody's least favorite variable. Because what does the S look like? Yeah, okay. But we can generalize. We can't write an equation, but we can make this S shirts and 5 caps in general. What is it? 5S plus 10C. Good, yes. Not only did they make the S the variable, they also paired it with the 5. Perfect. Okay? That would give us the amount for any. We could plug in S, we could plug in C, yada, yada, yada. Okay, looks pretty good? Cool, okay? Now, the next one, we're going to find 5 pairs of shirt and cap sales that lead to exactly $600. Okay? So if I was here, I'm going to transition this to 5S plus 10C equals 600. So now we want it to be exactly 600. Based on what you did on your test yesterday, there's 2 we can find very quickly. Which are those? Those are the what? Sophia? The intercepts. Okay, so let's do those 2. So if S is 0, you did pretty well in this yesterday. 60. So we'll put that one up here. And then if C is 0, 120. I'm going to put that down here. Okay? See if as a group you can find 3 other combinations that lead to exactly $600. I just want to see what you do with this. Go ahead, talk about it quickly. 3 other combinations that also lead to 600. There's a couple I like a little bit more than others.
Yeah, 60 for us. Yeah, 60.
There's a couple I'm going to like more than others. You'll see why. I didn't say I was going to hate it unless you want me to hate it. I love to hate it.
What is 200? What if it's 240 and negative 50?
No, you can't sell a negative number of shirts.
That is correct.
That'd be a nightmare.
What's that?
All right, now, some of you have answers I'm going to like. Some of you have answers I don't like, and I'll tell you why. Let's not do that. Thank you. Okay, and here's why I don't like some of them, even if they're right. What if I told you we're going to graph these? Some of you are going to look at yours and say, oh, it's not. That's okay, I don't really care. Okay? Instead, I want to find some of the graphable ones. I want to talk about patterns. Okay, so 0, 60 is fine. 120 is 0. Does anybody have another combination that they feel pretty good about, leads to $600? Ellie?
2,59.
Okay, 259 works, but I don't like it just because we're not going to graph that one. You'll see why. But I'm not saying it doesn't work. I want a good graphable one. Eliza?
40.
Ooh, 40-40 is my favorite one. Anybody find 40-40? Okay. Now again, if you were listening, because some of you do, some of you don't, I didn't say Ellie was wrong. In fact, other people have it. But you're going to see in a moment, I don't want to graph that one. I want graphable ones. Okay, so there's actually a lot of them. But that one's nice and graphable. It does work. Okay, that leads to 400, 200, and then we're good. Well, it turns out we can actually now find a couple of patterns in here. So I'm not sure if you noticed this, but we're going to notice it now. As this went up 40, what happened to this? So we can actually cut that in half. If this goes up 20, guess what that is? Oh. Actually, we could probably continue the pattern. So bump this up 20 again. Okay, and we could keep going, obviously we're not going to, but in general, not sure if you're noticing this, we basically trade 2 shirts for every cap. That makes sense because they're twice as expensive, okay, or they make twice as much money. Okay, good. So there are no shortage of answers. Yeah, you can give me 259 for blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. I would actually rather have something like this, which is clean. I would like for you to graph these points, those points that we just did. Please graph. If you didn't write them down, that's on you. They're right here. We got to learn how to take notes. I got a 0, 60. Got 20, 50. 40, 40. 60, 30. And 120. Okay, so if you're playing the right way, this is what you should have done. Now there's other points we didn't have to find, but we can kind of look at them as we go. Down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Actually, let's fill in some others. So guess who else is on here? 80, 20. Yep. Down 1 over 2. Cool. And then we're right there. Okay. So, are you shocked it's a line? You shouldn't be. Okay, because it's standard form. Okay, the way this book is written, they assume you've never seen standard form before. I know that you have. That's why we're condensing a couple of activities. Okay? So that graph looks pretty good. Now last year, you actually learned from Miss James, you technically should not connect these points. Does anybody remember why you actually should not connect these points? Okay, Delphina? It would include all the decimals. And there are no partial t-shirts, like tank tops don't count. They're full t-shirts. Okay? I get that every year. Okay? There are no partial t-shirts, there are no partial caps. So if you connect them, you're telling the person, these are, I don't know if anybody remembers what kind of variables those are. Now don't write that down because they're not continuous variables. Continuous means they can be connected, like time, distance, yada yada. But they're not continuous variables. Do you know what they're called? I don't know if you covered this one. No, that's not.
Uncontinuous.
No, you're getting worse. It starts with a D. Don't say discontinuous.
Discontinued. Discontinued.
Disconnected.
Yeah, you're just making it worse. Should I do the thing? I'll wait. Like, please, I'm not going to do that. Okay. How often does the teacher say "I'll wait" in the class stuff? Never. No,
yeah.
never. These are called discrete variables. Discrete just means it can be individually counted. Okay? So she might not have said that, but I know she probably talked about continuous variables. So last year, she told you not to connect these. I'm not telling you she's wrong, because she is right. I'm telling you we're going to connect them anyway. So I actually would like for you to connect these. I don't want you getting a ruler of mine because my ruler's had a rough week. Just use your own local straight edge. Find something. Connect them. Shh. I'm going to tell you why we're going to connect them. And the message is not Miss James was wrong. She's not wrong, but this is different stuff. Shh. Shh. Oh, no, you don't understand. You can draw this line in without talking. I do it all the time. Okay. So, last year, she definitely gave you stuff and said, okay, only connect the points if it makes sense. It was cool. You're going to take an entire unit off of that. You're going to just not think about it. You're going to connect all lines. because we're going to do stuff with the lines that if you don't connect them, you will get them wrong. Okay, so I am not going to take off at all this entire unit if you connect them, and like technically they're not supposed to be. But if you don't connect the lines, you're going to get questions wrong. You'll see why over the next week or two. Okay, so for this entire unit, which this unit lasts a while, do not worry about whether or not the point should be connected. You connect all of your lines, no questions asked. Okay, cool. So let's look at the slope of this line. Okay, so I just established it, and a lot of you actually picked up on this yesterday. You didn't get burned by the scale. So we said I could go down 1 over 2, but is that actually down 1 over 2? Let's check it. So what's this drop?
10.
So negative 10. And what's this? 20. So actually the slope is. Okay. I wonder if I could like prove that. So 5s plus 10c is equal to 600. Well, what if I solve this for c? You don't have to write this, but I think looking at it will help. How would you solve that for c? Subtract. I know you can do this. I just watched you do it on a test. I don't need you to write it. I really would rather you just watch and talk me through it. How would you solve that for c? What would you do first? See, I told you. I've just graded a test where all of you are able to do it. Divide, not by c.
I mean 10.
Divide by 10. Oh, negative 5 divided by 10.
Negative 1/2.
Oh. So the slope is negative a half. Okay, it actually is. It lines up. Okay, but we're going to stay tuned. Okay? So we'll come back to this question, but right now I want you to connect all of them, and then we'll kind of come back to that same question from earlier. But we just established the slope is negative a half. I want you to read question 4 together and decide yes or no and give me an explanation. Then we'll come back. Read it together first, though. Okay, come on. Read the question together and decide yes or no. And if you can't agree, then you can put your own answers down. I don't care. What? This is good. Alex, this is good. It's good. It's a foam panther hat. It's no, it's great. Decide yes or no to question 4. Write down your answer. Some of you are really wasting your time. Come on. Read it together. Decide yes or no. Write down your response. Pencil down when you've got your answer. You either said yes or no with some kind of explanation. And then we will see. Okay, you need some kind of reasoning. Pencil down when you've got a yes or a no. And we will see where we stand. Okay, final thoughts, All right, so suppose the number of t-shirts sold was on the vertical axis and the number of caps sold was on the horizontal. So they basically want to know if we switch these, okay? And the question is, would the solutions change? I don't trust you to not look at other people, so I want you to close your eyes, put your head down, and then you're going to raise your hand when I say what you said. Hopefully you remembered if you said yes or no, okay? So let's go hand up if you said yes, the solutions would change. Keep them up high so I can count. Okay, and hand up if you said no. Okay, here are the results. Two people said no. Well, I thought one of them voted twice, but I could be wrong. Everyone else said yes, which is like 20 some odd, okay? So, let me go back to this then, okay? And again, I just need you watching. Some of you, like, you do a good job, but you don't watch at the most critical times, okay? So, I solved this one for C. I'm actually going to solve it now for S, and by I mean you're going to solve it. What would you do to solve this for S? Minus 10C. And then divide everybody by? 5. Oh, so wait, is the slope negative 1/2? Negative 2? It could be either one. So, the one that we graphed, let's look at our graph, okay? Our graph, we had 0, 60, slope and negative 1/2, okay? So that lines up with, where'd it go? Ha! That lines up here. Slope of negative 1/2, y-intercept, I don't know why I hear that whispering over there, 0, 60. So we established this matches the graph on your paper. Well, if we flipped them, if we flipped x and y, if we flipped what they were on, the y-intercept would be 0, 1, 20, and the slope would be negative 2. So a lot of you are like, oh yeah, those are totally different, but they're actually the same thing. Okay, the answer is actually no. Do any of the no's want to argue? There's only 2 of you. Why the solution? By the way, keyword solutions. Anybody want to tell me why you said? Like 2 of you. You said no. Everybody else said yes. You don't want to say why? All right, I guess I'll give it to you. I wouldn't be shy. I'd be like, look at me. I got it right. Most of the class got it wrong. Okay. You can have my explanation for it. That's fine. Okay. And by mine, I mean I need you to write down what I just put on the board, word for word. There is no dependent relationship between the items. The prices would also not change. So the coordinates would flip. A lot of you probably said yes because the coordinates would flip. 0, 60 becomes 60, 0. Okay, but that doesn't change the prices. It doesn't change the solution. It just changes where it is. Doesn't change how much a shirt costs or a cap costs or any of that jazz. Okay. So if you said yes because the coordinates flip, that's cool, but that's not the solution. Okay, because the prices go with it. Now I want to talk about this first sentence I had you write down. There's no dependent relationship between the items. It's true. This is why you need standard form in your life. Okay? Which is the independent variable? Neither. Caps don't depend on shirts. Shirts don't depend on caps. They work together to create 600. Okay, so that's why you can flip them. Okay, and I just proved it to you. If I solved it the other way, this would be the same graph, but it would just be flipped. So this guy would be 0, 120, 60, 0, steeper slope, but the prices would be with it. Okay? So the other thing you're not going to have to think about too much in this entire unit is what depends on what. X and Y don't depend on each other. They work together to create the 600. That's why we have standard form. Okay? Good. I thought you did pretty well. Okay, now, the next section. Okay, you're going to work on this section a little bit more in groups, but you got to kind of be focused. Okay, go to the next part. Go to 1.2. Okay, this is all converting. I watched you do some of this yesterday. There's going to be more of it. Okay, the first section, all 4 of them are in standard form. You're going to convert them from standard form into, what does it say? Slope-intercept form. But they also want you to identify, what does it say? Slope, y-intercept, x-intercept. So there's 4 of those. And then there's going to be 4 in the other direction. When you get to B, all 4 of these need to be put into, what is this guy called? Standard form. Identify the slope, y-intercept, and x-intercept. Okay? I'm fine with you working on them together, but I will be putting the answers up. You have to check them and keep rolling. Okay, getting too noisy, I'll be like, don't. But I think working on them together might not be a bad idea. Okay, but you gotta be focused. Okay, it's all 8 of them. All 8 of them. Starts here. Convert, identify slope, y-intercept, and x-intercept for each one. Do not forget to identify the slope and the x and y intercepts. You can do it out of either form, but you gotta get them.
My brain is
I don't remember.
it's 8.
There's the first one. Converted, slope, y-intercept, x-intercept. Please check them carefully. If you're not sure about them, let me know. But I'm just going to put the answers up kind of as you go.
Give me that shirt.
It's a great shirt.
It's a W shirt.
Great shirt.
What about that film?
First one good?
Yeah.
No issues? Another legendary shirt.
W shirt.
Oh my god.
Actually, I put there's a girl that's in like 9th or 10th grade now. I put her face on this. She actually found this shirt and bought it. Delaney drum, legendary. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I think she's in 9th grade.
Yeah, because she was in last year's yearbook.
I don't remember that. Okay, so you did a good job.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're doing the 4 on the bottom as well. You're doing B as well.
I flip through the yearbook every thing because I
Why
don't
not?
have any other books to read right now and I haven't already.
I only
W book.
I only love your book if I was out. Or it's like the last day of school and I'm just like the pictures of
I don't read yearbooks because why would I go yearbooks just to see the thing that the thing that I already knew that the photographer decided.
All right, enough about your books. We got things we need.
so I can make photos of this.
There's the second one. Now, keep in mind, a lot of you saw this on your test yesterday. Slope is -2/5. Y-intercept is 0, 9/5. X-intercept's 9 has 0. You also could have written 4.5. I don't really care as long as the decimals are clean. Here's the conversion as well. Keep in mind, you can get this information any way you want. You can use slope shortcut if you want. But this is the same thing. You can get the y-intercept from here or here. It's all connected. I need you to convert, and then the answers are the same no matter which form you use. You're doing all 4 in part A. You're also doing all 4 in part B. Okay, but there's a second one in part A, which I feel like you should be past that one.
Another W shirt. Oh, it's negative.
We have a hangover bar.
Am I?
I'm sorry for traumatizing you. I've actually gotten one before.
What am I wearing? Wait, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
There's the third one. Don't let me pass you. I try to give you a head start. There's the third one.
The horror.
There's so many double
Let's talk about the fourth one. Hey, let's talk about the fourth one. What do you notice about the fourth one? There's no numbers in it, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't stop anything. You're solving it for y. This is what's called a literal equation. You study them in algebra too. Okay? But don't panic. Just solve it for y. So I flipped the equation. I don't know why you wouldn't be looking at this. Okay, because I'm going to ask for answers. What do you want to do first to solve for y? Subtract ax over. Divide everybody by d. You get here. This is actually like that enrichment and slope shortcut. So what's the slope? Negative a over d. Oh, that's slope shortcut. They just use d instead of b. Anybody notice? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the y-intercept? 0. It's right here. C over d. Now the x-intercept is kind of weird. Remember, the x-intercept occurs when y is 0. If I make that 0, Divide each side by A. What is it? C over A, comma 0. Good. Okay? So, I need you to finish up the next 4. If you finish the next 4 before I start going over them, you can look at the 3 questions on the bottom. Okay, the next 4 are the most critical right now. Okay, you're working on putting it in standard form. No fractions in standard form. That's why most of you didn't get the bonus yesterday, though some people did get the bonus. Some people did. Many did not because they left fractions in there. No fractions in standard form. Can't have it.
There you are.
Kitty!
Wait, oh my god, no, there could be the orders of my last
That's crazy.
You know what helps? Smacking your head. That helps people get the That helps people get the answer. No fractions. Are you talking about? Oh, wait. Part C?
No. C in the equation.
Oh, yes. Are you working on those 4? Or are you working on those 4 problems? Those 4 no fractions. At all, not including C.
What is that? I think he's having a
Who's having a seizure?
Okay, well,
Jude's having a seizure.
Can we not do that? Also, you don't do that stuff. No. And you. Or 2 of you. Stop.
no, he went.
Oh yeah.
The first one is tricky. Please look at it. The first one is tricky. Like, I mean the slope and the intercept, but it is right. Shh. No. 6x plus 8y equals -1. Slope is -3/4. I actually did the slope shortcut because it's actually not given there. And then 0, -1/8, -1/6 is 0. Please look at that one carefully. You can keep working on the others, but look at that one carefully. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about it. I'll leave it up there a second if you gotta look at it.
Maybe I can observe myself in the cat t-shirt. You multiply it by 2 and put that by 3. How did you get there? Can you go all the way around?
That first one's coming off the board. Let's see if they still needs it. Okay. You got the Acrisure pigeon. Remember the pigeons? You got the pigeon t-shirt. It's good. Now, if I was doing the next one, I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I can give great advice. Before I converted this one, before I even bothered converting, I'd write down the stuff I know. What's the slope? What's the y-intercept? 0, 1/4. Nobody said you had to convert it and then do the information. I wrote it down first. Okay. Yeah, I would multiply through by the 8 first, though. No fractions allowed.
This is
If you finish all those, you can start looking at part C. Yeah, we are going to do it. There's the second one. You should be finishing up those 4 in that section. We are going to talk about all of them. This one okay? Can I take this one off? What? We. Yes, yes.
Oh my god, Slim Dude.
Slow Dude one is so good. Hey, don't lose, but we still have 8 minutes here. We have plenty we need to do. It does not. A can be negative as long as the whole thing is correct.
Well, it's got to have a wolf is the bottom of yeah, it's really the bottom. Wolf, Viking, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the third one. Now don't get yourself into trouble. It's actually kind of point slope form. It's close. But you might be duped into thinking that the slope, oh, some of you just really think bad times not paying attention. You might be duped into thinking, duped is tricks, that the slope is 2 because it looks like point slope form. Point slope form is not 1/3 y, it's y. So you actually can't assume it's 2 because actually it's wrong. Okay, now when I go to convert it, I can actually see what the slope really is from here. I don't know if anybody has it. It's actually 6. The reason it's not 2 is because this isn't true point slope form. Okay, it's 1/3. Okay, now I want to talk about the last one together, and then we'll roll through the bottom a little bit together. Okay, this one. No, please don't do that. Come on, the worst time to start clowning around and not pay attention is the last 5 minutes of class. That's usually where we make sure stuff gets done on time. Okay, this guy, don't freak out. Okay, it looks like it's going to be really bad. Standard form, you just put x and y on the same side. So actually, all you need to do, I would subtract this over and add the 15. You're actually done. 18 equals gx minus fy. Now, I did tell you, I don't particularly care if the coefficient on x is positive. I know you learned that last year, but I told you it's not that big a deal. But the whole answer needs to be right. So it's either this or the whole opposite. Just because I don't care if A is positive doesn't mean I don't care about the answer being right. I do. It's got to be the total opposite. Okay? The slope of this one, I'll just give it to you because I want to move on. The slope is g over f. The y-intercept is 18 over g. Does anybody have the x-intercept by chance? It's 0. No one has it. Close. Negative 18 over f. Okay. I don't care that much about that one. That's why we kind of speed through it. Okay, the other ones should all make total sense.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, well, they're written different on my page. I had to do the opposite order. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Listen, I got assigned seats getting rolled out for almost all my other classes. You're like the only one that doesn't have them. You can get them. Okay, the way you get them is you keep chattering and talking when I'm trying to go over stuff. Okay, cool. Now, the last 3 questions are quick. Even if you didn't get to them, we're going to roll through them together. Here's the whole reason you need standard form. Okay, Mary is selling popcorn for $5 per bucket and hot dogs for $4.75 each. After 1 hour, she makes $72.50. If I asked you to write an equation for that without standard form, it'd be a nightmare. But instead, we can actually do it pretty quickly. Okay, now there is one exception to the no fractions, no decimals. Word problems. For word problems, see, no one will listen for you. You listen now. For word problems, they will let you put in fractions, and in this case, decimals for money. But for this, we just call this like naked mathematics, so to speak. They do not allow the fractions and the decimals. So, I can actually write an equation very easily for this. $5 per bucket of popcorn, $4.75 for each hot dog, and after 1 hour we make $72.50. Does anybody just want to go for the gold and give me an equation for this? I bet someone can. Theo.
5x plus 4.75y equals 72.
Okay, we're done. We wrote an equation for it. Again, I'd write this down, but no one will take notes for you. Fractions and decimals, they let them go for word problems only. That would be annoying and a nightmare to convert it with no fractions or decimals. We don't bother. Okay? Do you know why we had to write standard form? There's no dependent relationship here. The popcorn and the hot dogs, they don't depend on each other. They work together to create 7250. That was quick. That was easy. That's why we need standard form. But sometimes it's not standard form. Matt is in charge of selling roses for the Valentine's Day dance. The roses sell for $3.75 each, and he estimates expenses are $25. He wants to write an equation for the profit. I would not write this one in standard form. Anybody know why not? Alex. Okay, how about you just give me the equation then? That's fine, I don't care. 3.75 what? R? Minus 25 equals P. Is that standard form? No, but guess what? There's a dependent relationship. What depends on what? Profit depends on how many roses you buy or sell in this case. Okay, no. Okay. So sometimes standard form is not the right answer. You need to assess if there's a dependent relationship or not. Here there isn't one. Here there is. We wouldn't write standard form. Which leads to the last one. You're going to write your own. Kaylee is mixing paint for an art project. She mixes 5 ounces of green paint with every 3 ounces of white paint. She needs 50 ounces of the paint mixture. Why don't you write an equation that you think matches it and then compare with somebody? Right? What you think this can be, compare it with somebody. Right there, dude. Four, 3, 2, 1. Who's got one? Who's got one? Okay, Sadie.
50 equals 5g plus 3w.
The only difference between your equation and this is maybe you didn't use G or W. Okay, maybe you used X and Y. It doesn't matter. Okay? Standard form to the rescue there. So I told you like a month ago, I said, hey, a month from now, you would start to see standard forms not that bad and helpful. Look at where we are. Without that, we couldn't write that equation. Okay? So you have this assignment to complete. Okay, hopefully you saw your test grade. I put them in yesterday. I'll get them back to you, and I got somebody that needs to take it. Okay, we'll kind of go forward from there. All right? Yeah. What? You'll know, but it's not 1.1 and 1.2 anymore. You'll say 1.3. That's when you stop. You'll know. You'll figure it out, I promise. You'll figure it out. I got faith in you. I got faith in you. Don't worry. Oh, no.